Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys await decision from highly valued Quinn. In the very near future, Dan Quinn will make a decision on the next phase of his NFL career. He currently resides as the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, and has since joining the organization in 2021. But he's also wrapping up his latest round of interviews to possibly return to the head coaching ranks in 2024. With the Cowboys keeping Mike McCarthy on board for the coming season, the other major shoe waiting to drop is being held by Quinn, who is expected to make his decision sooner than later. Should Quinn not accept a head coach position this offseason, the Cowboys are expected to retain him in his current role as well beside McCarthy, who continues to offer praise for his defensive counterpart. Dan is a highly valued member of our coaching staff, said McCarthy. We'll go through the process there. Quinn's pending decision will have major ramifications on the defensive side of the ball, particularly as it relates to McCarthy's plan for the assistant coaching staff beneath Quinn. Those meetings and discussions set to begin later this week, per McCarthy, with a timetable that is undoubtedly being respectful of the process being undertaken by Quinn regarding interviews. We'll start that soon, McCarthy said. Some of those conversations will be preliminary right now, but we're moving forward in that direction. Obviously, this is the time of the year where there are other opportunities, and we'll work through that on a day-to-day basis. It remains unknown if the coaching staff will have the same look in 2024, even if Quinn sticks around, given McCarthy's willingness to move pieces around, and out or in, over the past 4 seasons with the goal of upgrading his staff, e.g., Joe Philbin to Mike Solari and Mike Nolan to Dan Quinn, as 2 examples of several. Should Quinn opt to depart, discussions with assistant defensive coaches would obviously take on a different tone here soon, with a possible promotion being on the table for one or more, along with subsequent and related decisions to be made thereafter. But, for now, it's a waiting game, though it won't be for much longer. The Dallas Cowboys are being implored to sign arguably the best player at his position. As suggested by Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, Dallas should consider signing Kansas City Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones. The 29-year-old Jones will be a free agent this offseason after agreeing to a new 1-year deal just prior to the start of the season. Knox's argument is simple. The Cowboys' run defense is average and Jones is NFL's premier player at defensive tackle. In losses to the San Francisco 49ers, Buffalo Bills and Green Bay Packers, in the playoffs, the Dallas defense was battered by the ground game, writes Knox. Adding a premier defensive tackle like Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs would help the Cowboys bolster their run defense on the front line. Dallas just used a first-round pick on Michigan defensive tackle Mazi Smith, but Smith was always going to be a developmental prospect. Why the Cowboys need a player like Chris Jones? Dallas defense ranks 16th in rushing yards and 15th in yards per attempt allowed. In the 3 aforementioned losses to those elite teams, the Cowboys allowed an average of 193 rushing yards per game. For perspective, the worst run defense in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, allowed 143.2 rushing yards per game. In other words, yes, the Cowboys' run defense and lack of quality run stoppers is their biggest problem entering the offseason. There's little doubt that Jones remains elite as he enters his age 30 season in 2024. He just clinched his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl selection and his 2nd first-team All-Pro selection after posting 30 tackles to go along with 10.5 sacks. Cost may prevent Cowboys from signing Chris Jones. According to Pro Football Focus, Jones posted an 84.1 defensive grade and 90.3 pass rushing grade during the 2023 season. His defensive grade ranked 9th and his pass rushing grade ranked 3rd among all defensive tackles. While there's little doubt that Jones will be a hot commodity and one of the top free agents on the market, the big question is, how much will he be paid in free agency? According to Spatrack, his market value is $28.1 million per season for a total of $84.6 million across 3 years. That would make Jones the 2nd highest paid defensive tackle in the league. Entering the 2024 offseason, the Cowboys don't exactly have a lot of salary cap space. According to Spatrack, Dallas is $11 million in the red over the salary cap, ranking 26th in the league. They'll have to clear up cap space and make a few roster moves just to have a chance at signing Jones. Jones would be an immediate difference maker against the run while also boosting Dallas' pass rush, writes Knox. Creating the cap space needed to sign him would be a challenge, but the 29-year-old should be at the very top of the Cowboys' wish list. Furthermore, the Cowboys' top objectives this offseason also happen to involve signing Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to contract extensions. It's clear despite Dallas' talent-heavy roster, they have the second most Pro Bowlers at 7, they're still lacking a certain something to get them over the hump. Adding Jones, who has led the Chiefs to 2 Super Bowl victories, could be the difference maker that the Cowboys are desperately lacking. If Jones is willing to take a discount on his next contract, or if Dallas is able to make some moves to clear up enough cap space to sign the 2-time Super Bowl champion, the Cowboys would cure their biggest weakness on the roster. Loophole in Dak Prescott's contract shows why Cowboys don't have to extend QB. It's widely assumed the Cowboys must extend quarterback Dak Prescott to save cap space. However, his contract has a loophole that gives Dallas more leverage. Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News reported the Cowboys added 2 void years, 2025 and 2026, to Prescott's 4-year, $160 million deal. They can use these to convert his salary into a signing bonus, which saves cap room and creates more financial flexibility. Dallas did this last offseason and could do it again. According to Gelkin, this move would reduce Prescott's cap number from $59.46 million to $40.93 million, and Dallas would create $18.53 million in cap room. While this would be smart, the Cowboys will probably give Prescott a new contract. Per over the cap, an extension saves slightly more cap room, $26.32 million. OTC estimates Dallas is $19.74 million over the cap. The Cowboys aren't in a position to find a potential replacement either. They have the 24th overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, so all the top QB prospects should be off the board. Dallas also wants to avoid souring its relationship with Prescott. If he becomes a free agent in 2025, the Cowboys can't franchise tag him since his contract has a no-tag clause. He also has a no-trade clause. The 30-year-old is still in his prime and coming off of one of the best seasons in his 8-year career. In 17 games, he finished first in the league in passing TDs, 36, second in QBR, 72.7, and third in passing yards, 4,516. Despite the underwhelming playoff record, 2-5, holding on to a solid starting QB creates stability for Dallas. I believe in Dak Prescott, Cowboys head Mike McCarthy recently said, via Gelkin. I think he's clearly the answer. He's part of the solution moving forward. As difficult as this time is right now when we can work through this emotional period that we're in, we'll continue to build off of what he brings to the table.